Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to Imola for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. Here, beautiful, sunny, bright, and everything, all today in the heart of Italy. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Alessandro Dalladane with Marco Barbonera up here in the booth, and you're here watching the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship on Apex Racing TV.
Hi Austin, hi everyone. Nice to be back in Italy. Lovely track, one of the most challenging track I must say on the schedule. Seems easy by the layout, but it definitely isn't. These chicanes and up and downs, some historic corners, definitely ready for a great event with drivers already qualifying. Very notorious names. Some drivers coming back for the series tonight also, so I'm really hyped for this.
I'm hyped for it too, even though it physically may not be the heart of Italy. It feels like the heart of Italy because, you know, it's by the mountains and everything, and, you know, when everyone thinks Italian tracks, this is the one in the middle of the three major Italian, or four major Italian tracks. Got Monza up to the north, you got Mugello and Vallelunga, in the south, and then in the middle, boom, Imola. And Marco's probably mad at me because I probably missed a few tracks right there, but, you know.
I think you said even too many tracks. I think Monza can be considered not a Formula 1 track, it's just a straight, come on. It's a public park.
It is a public park, though.
Yeah, that's the only thing that it is. They shouldn't be allowed to put cars on there.
Well, you know, Monaco's a street, and they put cars right there. Paul Ilbrink currently is trying to break that bad spell of races he's had since provisional pole by 0.003 of a second right now. And here's Samborski hugging the wall, comes across the line on this oddly shaped straight. He's going to take provisional back for 1:28.55.
Yeah, great back and forth between these drivers. Still 3 minutes and drivers still to put down laps like Ben Fuller. First lap was invalidated, so now he will definitely need a good lap to move up the leaderboard.
Also making his return to this series, Ben Fuller's back in the car. And he's just starting out his first lap. Let's see how he handles the Imola straight, air quotes. He's going to be jumping up into third, 0.003 of a second behind Ilbrink. James J. Pinsker, after a great race at Spa and oh no! I've cursed him.
A nice 360, by the way.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was a
360.
Great execution, for sure. As we are now following Robert Tarton, ending his second flying lap. Also,
that's
yeah,
an off track. That's an off track.
I don't think so.
I've done that so many times in practice that I can tell you that's probably not going to count. It's proved wrong in 3, 2, 1. Yep.
It's I don't blame Austin. iRacing is quite inconsistent in its off tracks, to be fair.
You think?
Let's not blame. Let's blame iRacing for that. As Juan de la Fuente in his beautiful Renault livery.
Yeah, absolutely shining right there.
Oh, these colors are always great. I'd love to see this livery back in F1. That's much better compared to any livery we have right now. I really missed it.
Unless you're Brian Delp, that his AlphaTauri livery looks pretty all right. Looks the same, but you know they just blued the entire top of the car now.
So everybody back on pit road. 30 seconds left in qualifying. So 25 degrees today in Imola. Not very hot, Austin, so I think we might see less tire wear, but I think it's gonna be difficult because especially with these lower speed corners, traction is key, and you know that this car doesn't really like slow corners.
Yeah, the slow corner hairpins here, and that chicane is going to be very tricky, especially the earlier, as you call it, banana corners. It's going to be a bit cramped for these cars, so first lap might have a little bit of tricky things happening, so we're going to bring it through the grid and get ready to go racing. Edward Samborski starts up on pole. Right beside him is Paul Ilbrink, with Ben Fuller right behind him, and Greg Olson followed by Daniel Campos, James J. Pinkston, Robert Tarleton, Jose Longa, Rob Bohr, Fabio DiCarmo, Antonio Pavetta, and Jorge Garcia in 12th place. Following them is Eno Gian, Rob Crouch, Dylan Freckleton, Jeans Ruiz Nuez, Juan Gil, Eduardo Marquez, and Daniel Barrero finishing out the top 20, followed by Adam Kahn, Patrick Latavet, Jamie Byrne, and De Fuente at the end of this 23-car grid.
Definitely some interesting results out of qualifying, Austin, with some very fast drivers stuck in the midfield, like Fabio DiCarmo only 10th, or Rob Crouch in 14th. So I expect these drivers to come through the field, even though this track is not really the best for passing opportunities, because it's so easy to make a mistake. There might be some trouble trying to come through the field, but for sure it's gonna be fun.
It certainly will. Samborski, happy as always to be up there on pole. Just the face of a just pure, absolutely just can't tell what he's thinking at the time. Poker face out of Maximum, but you know it's smiling. So everyone's out there on the grid. The stands are full and onto their feet, and the lights are about to be coming onto our screens. We've still got one driver to go. I thought I saw him pop up there, but I'm guessing not. There we go. Everyone's all lined up and ready to go. The 5 red lights are coming on. Let's get ready to rock and roll here at Imola for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship, and let's go racing. Good start by Ben Fuller immediately on the inside of Paul Elbrink. He's looking on Samborski. Fuller and Samborski's locked in. It's straight, and Paul Elbrink's been doing what he's doing with Campos.
Taking their time to come back on track, everybody's by, but man, Paul Ilbrink got okay race last time, but his bad streak continues.
Yeah, unfortunately, down his inside, just around he goes, and a lockup by Samborski. He's now cut the course, has to serve that penalty. He's going to lose more spots as they go up to the top of this racetrack now. Ben Fuller, amazing start. And I don't think he wants to look behind him because he's currently got a 2-second gap, and he doesn't really need to now. He's pretty much broken free. What is that? He's into the wall. Edward Samborski, pole sitter, into the wall, and I believe that's going to be his race out. His front wings out and everything. So, oh, that is tough for the New Yorkian. And our battle.
Quite a straight hit, so I think he will be able to continue, but it just towed back on pit road, so he will be probably fuming.
He's fuming, and I just saw him I feel like he's just left the entire server. He's done with this today. Imola, not the driver's favorite track. I know this from a lot of people, as Ben Fuller's actually lapping a driver right now, and well, that was Barrio that he just was going side by side through that corner. And
yeah, he took a start from pit road and might have had some issues.
Yeah, that was a very late start from pit road. Might have had, just very late start. Paul Ilbrink's in the pit lane repairing that damage. You can see the damage he had on that front wing, the front right side of it. That start was extremely crazy. Paul Ilbrink on the outside. Samborski's going to lock up here. He sees Fuller down low, just And then Ilbert just
That's
got onto the
banana
curb. And yeah, the banana curves got you. We had a pre-race bet how many people are going to crash in these chicanes. I said 8.
That's already 2.
Yeah,
Oh,
3.
it's burn around.
Matt, Jamie
Always,
Byrne. Same corner that got Samborski on there.
Indeed. It's very difficult with cold tires. Both me and Austin tried this combination this week. I gave up after 20 minutes. I couldn't even make 2 laps without
I got
crashing.
disqualified from the tracks.
Yeah, so that tells you how difficult is this track, as Poveda is defending from Rob Bauer for 7th place.
Ooh, almost got into the back of Pavetta, but Pavetta stays right there. Boar's getting a little bit wide, and look at the back of Boar. That's Rob Crouch, and he's looking for him. And now we got a nice train right now.
Yeah, it's very difficult to pass, as I was saying earlier, in any car around this track. You need to really work for it. And we also have, I think, Barrero in the mix. If I'm not wrong. Yes, you can see moving right, and I think Igne Jean almost colliding together.
As Pinksir and Longa, side by side, Longa dives down the inside, gets ahead of Pinksir to chop off the nose at the chicane. And oh, off right now, that's Nunez.
Also him got caught by that treacherous corner. Already 3 people facing trouble in that very difficult braking zone coming down the hill.
A very difficult combination. As Petroletavet has got Campos, who definitely wants to charge through the field after that horrible start he had. Campos looking onto the outside. As side by side they're going to go here across the line. Right on board of Campos now. He's on the inside heading into turn 1. And it's a big move down low. It's a little bit too deep, but he's managed to work it in there. Campos up into 16th.
He's definitely lucky that his car is considerably okay. He might have some minor damage, but he's still very fast. Was definitely aggressive defending the position, but he will definitely trying to get the best out of this race, and would be not happy. So for him is mandatory not to be challenged in any corner to make up all the time he lost in the opening lap. But Ben Fuller, whenever he's been joining us in this broadcast race, he's always been very fast.
Yeah, Ben leading this race by 3.5 seconds. Pretty much lucked out at the start. Right place, right time. And, well, he just has to keep consistent and not get off tracks and just stay on track for everything. As the fight for second place is getting very interesting and tense. Olsen enabling DRS ahead of Tarleton, not wanting Tarleton to have any chance heading into turn 1, as Fuller puts in another fastest lap of the race, entirely 0.3 faster than the charging cars of Olsen behind him.
Absolutely amazing pace by Ben Fuller. But also these guys are definitely pushing really hard. You can see them building a little gap on Langa and Pinksir. Oh, yeah, contact. Letouvé is around. De La Fuente clipped him with his front wing. I think he didn't hit the wall, so he will be alright, but it's definitely a lot of time lost. Also Jamie Byrne making up a free position. Let's catch the replay with Letouvé defending the inside. In the right hand, they both touched.
Completely unfortunate right there.
You know, it's a very tricky corner. The car always tends to push wide when you put the car on the right for the left-hander. And in whatever car you are in, that is a Formula or a GT car, contacts are inevitable in the corner. We've seen every time trouble. This track is very, very tough on drivers.
Yeah, this track is insanely tough. From LMP cars to Formula cars, Skip Barbers, even the Mazdas, which you would think they would be going out at such a slow speed, they'd be all right for. Nope, still contact. Solstices, I run in the Solstice League, and yeah, there's contact in there. And Jose Longo put in the new fastest lap of the race, 129.74. But that corner as well, also not common just for a solo driver mistake. I remember you and Marco got a good laugh from me just, pulling out a barrel roll off of one of these corners.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The Apex F3 Championship.
I definitely remember that. Whenever someone makes a mistake between us, there's always a big laugh coming.
It is, and it just becomes a running joke.
India John defending P11 from Dylan Frackleton.
Frackleton's right behind him, but Jean has got a good run. This is the one corner that's so tough on these drivers. Jean braked a lot. Frackleton took a different strategy through there. That's allowed Frackleton to close in on Jean as the Korean driver trying to stay ahead of Frackleton.
That green turf on the outside caught Frackleton out and he went around. It's very difficult because you put the power down and you have absolutely no grip out there.
No grip at all. A lot of drivers who's crashed got back into the race because, Imola is usually a race of attrition than a race of overtaking, unless you get a massive train of cars right here. But, when you see people race here, it becomes more of a not trying to make mistakes because it's so easy to lose the car around here. Even on pace laps, for people, George Russell, and it's just so hard around here. A little bit of Formula 1 dig.
Campos trying to make a pass around the outside on Joaquin Jean. He has now a little bit of toe from Vando Marquez and moves up into P13. So he will definitely aiming to get that top 10 spot by the end of the race. He definitely has a lot of pace, Austin, but he needs to be careful to not overdrive.
Yeah, you definitely need to limit yourself with the speed as Campos cuts the course ahead of him, gets an off track. Might be serving a slowdown penalty very soon, but you definitely need to keep it underneath 100%, not try to do qualifying laps every lap here, because Imola, every corner can bite you. This upcoming double-handed left-hander, go a little bit too deep, you're off in the gravel. In the first corner. The second corner, go a little bit too deep, you're off into the AstroTurf, and that curve was just very dangerous. Tarleton on Olsen, fight for second. Tarleton sends it down low into turn one. Tarleton up into second place now. Bit of a wiggle though off the exit. So that's going to allow Olsen to get right there as we're side by side through turns 1 and 2. Rob Bohr and Crouch. Oh man, the Robs are having a good fight right now, but Garcia right behind us trying to rob them of this moment for the two Robs. And now Crouch down the inside, Bohr on the outside. Garcia just staying with them. This is an excellent three-way fight for 8th.
Absolutely. Great battle between these guys. We've seen Rob Crouch trying to defend very hard and braking very late in the second chicane. And here, different strategies between drivers. There are drivers that attempt to brake very late, and drivers that brake very early to make sure to not have issues. Yeah, Langa having trouble. He might have lost it, I think, on the entrance.
Ooh, yeah, he's just completely cut through that corner. We saw him turn in, but I think he realized that he's just carrying too much speed, so he went straight. As Marquez has lost the nose.
Same spot on exit, though. This looks like too much mustard from the damage on Evandro Marquez's car. think he went
Oh,
too
yeah.
much.
Yeah, that's too much mustard. And then off the... Oh, no, there was contact.
That was Campos, I think.
Yeah, it was a positive sim racing car. Marquez gets his car back into pit lane, and Campos has been in 2 incidents today. And I feel like we're feeling some of the hot Spaniard fire right now in the passion of his heart in driving.
Campos definitely doesn't hold back, but I think that was an incident, a racing incident, Austin, because in the end Marquez was outside the track surface and tried to rejoin without probably realizing that Campos was there. For an unfortunate event, but unfortunately this is also racing. Drivers always try their best, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, Austin. So up and downs everywhere. Ooh, we have a big...
Fuente is going to be serving a penalty for that, definitely.
A lot of drivers having trouble. Let's see what was the issue. I think some...
Too much mustard?
Oh,
you so
see
much
that?
mustard right there. It just wouldn't break.
It just touched slightly the grass and it decided very smart decision, I might add, to not even brake, because if he was braking in that particular corner, he was definitely going around, because if you barely touch the grass in this right-hander on the outside, you're destined to hit the wall on the outside of the curb.
Indeed. Slick tires don't really work that much on grass, and especially in the braking zone. It's going to just overly rotate the car. It's like driving on ice, and if anyone knows, braking on ice is not a good idea. I haven't had a lot of experience until this week with the entire Texas just being iced over, and, well, you know, managed to drift a Camry today, the other day, so it was a pretty eye-opening experience.
Hopefully no one was harmed.
Nope, did it in a parking lot.
Frackleton and Nunez for 15th place. Close battle between those two drivers. We are already lap 11 of 24. Yes, indeed, as Marco points out, don't try this at home. Don't try to drift in the parking lot with your Camry, wherever you are in the world. It's dangerous.
This is true.
Let's see if Nunez will have a nice toe. Yes, he's on.
Oh, DRS definitely down the inside, straight into 15th, and the car looking fantastic. A little bit of wiggle on. Now here comes Freckleton on the attack again. Freckleton down the inside. We know the Freckleton that has the speed being forced down the inside right there, and Nuez, ooh, very good defense. Great fight here for 15th.
Absolutely, the boys are going at it.
Speaking of another fight, was that Pinsker we just saw?
Yeah, Lange and Pinsker fighting for 4th place, both going really wide. I think someone got off track. It's very close there between getting only an off track and getting an off track and a slowdown, Austin. I still don't really get how iRacing determines if you get an off track or a slowdown, or both.
Center of the car goes over the curb, I believe, is an off track, then all 4 wheels over the curb is a slowdown.
Let's keep an eye on Pinsker, because now looking at the inside, he's lifting a little bit, I think, here. He didn't want to go around the outside of Lange.
Yeah, we've seen James do this a lot. He will get right behind somebody and just stay with them. He won't make a pass. He feels much more comfortable behind another car, doesn't want to be forcing any mistakes, because his championship rival, Everett Samborski, he's out of the race. So this is going to be a great points race for James Pinsker today. And, you know, with this being the top SOF, you're going to get the maximum amount of points. And he's fighting Samborski for the championship lead right now.
Absolutely, he needs to think big picture and make sure he gets some valuable points out of tonight's race. I doubt he will run more than 4 official races every week, so for sure if he didn't get any very good result so far, he needs some solid top 5 points as Anga goes very wide.
That might be a slowdown.
I think, we have a kill around. Same corner.
Same
Also
corner
for
as Samborski went off, but this is the he went braking and going into that corner. You're going to see him go into the grass right here and go around.
Yeah, look at the car.
Oh, that coat hit. That was Barrio right behind him. It was Daniel.
Looked like a little tap from the car behind. There might have been some space between them, so might be some neck. Very unfortunate event. He managed to stay away from the grass, which usually is the main reason why we see people pointing the wrong direction in that corner. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, at first I thought we were gonna see an incident on the braking zone, but no, it was an incident in the braking zone, but I didn't know that he was joined by another car. As this fight for 4th place between Painter and Longa still continues on. Greg Olson is starting to pull away from these two.
Greg lost some valuable track time compared to Robert Harton. He was fighting with him a few laps ago, 4 or 5 laps ago, and now he lost all of a sudden 3.5 seconds and is backing up into this group for 4th place. So we might have soon a 3-way battle for 3rd place, as we have even more battles in the midfield with Fabio Do Carmo, Rob Crouch, Rob Boer still all together, and Jorge Garcia lurking in the background, hoping for some freebies if anything happens in front of him. I don't think there will be any chance for a pass, even if Rob Crouch looks at the inside of Fabio Do Carmo. Brazilian was definitely in front, and it was a late move by Rob. Nowhere to go. Single fight through this very difficult section.
Yeah, we've seen some incidents clear out the entire field before. I know Formula 3, when they come here, it's radio chatter, just be like, hey, be careful coming out of the 2nd chicane, because well, if you go a little bit too wide right there, you'll be caught up into the gravel, and next thing you know, you'll see a car just getting shot out through the gravel across the entire track. And you know, if you're unlucky, we've seen the famous Imola crashes where everyone just gets blocked in that section of track.
Yeah, absolutely. We had some nasty accidents during the DRS week here a few, I think 2 weeks ago. So
definitely iRacing Twitch clips videos I watch, yes.
But yeah, I try to stay away from that. But here are these guys, apart from that incident at the start, it has been a clean race. As you were saying earlier, Austin, an attrition race with some minor mistakes from drivers that end up losing them a lot of time.
Rob. Crouch down the inside, Fabio Di Carmo. What a move.
Yeah, last lap didn't work, it was too late. Now also Rob Boer looking at the inside of Fabio Do Carmo, but too wide here is always very risky.
Now you also want to watch out for these curves too, because if you strike one of these curves, you could be getting quote minefielded and damage your floor and or your side pod, which it would show damage on your side pod if you have floor damage. You can't repair that damage, and you'll be hurting on the straight. So you don't want to be going over a lot of these curves too.
Meantime, Daniel Barrero enters pit road. Not a very good evening for the Spanish driver.
Yeah, he was having computer issues at the start of this race. Decided to start from the pit lane. And didn't come out until, well, Ben Fuller was about to lap at the end of lap 1. And, well, yeah, he's made contact with another driver. And I don't think he's going to be... I don't think he's going to be very happy about today. But, hey, he's not giving up. Still on track.
And here we are with Greg Olson. You can see now Langa closing in, as you can see from this lap time comparison. And Pinsker losing a little bit of ground to the second positive sim racing car.
As Rob Ward got past DeCarbo on the straight.
Great pass. That looks like the...
I think DeCarbo might have some sidebod damage.
Yeah, maybe he's a bit slower compared to these guys. They might be using their DRSs. So we will see if he can actually try to make a pass, or he has just a little bit less downforce compared to these people. I don't see any damage on Fabio's car. Might be some floor damage though, as you were saying.
Yeah, I know he took a heavy curb strike, but he is sending it into these corners, and that's all 4 wheels off the track right there. That's a slowdown for DeCarmo.
That's Garcia by and serves his slowdown. You can also try to not serve, let's say, this slowdown, especially with GT cars. I have more experience with that. You can carry your slowdown till the end of the downhill and pretty much serve it without even doing anything. I don't know if iRacing fixed that.
Whenever I get a slowdown penalty, I just upshift twice if available and just continue running, and you know that's worked best for me. But it's still unfortunate. Early break by the number 12 of Olsen as he lets Longa by. Well, now he's right on the back of the positive sim racing cars, sitting 3rd and 4th right now, and it's great to see the positive sim racing boys back here.
Absolutely. One car wasn't really lucky today. Campos still managing 11th place, -6 for the day from where he started, but from where he found himself after lap 1, definitely a very good recovery drive. If these guys battle out, he might still have a chance to get even a better result, but the race is already 3/4 away, let's say, lap 17 for these drivers, so he needs to do it quick.
Indeed does. Now Bohr is on Kratz. They continued their battle. DeCarmo, I think he's confirming my suspicion that he does that damage because those 3 cars are just pulling away right now. As we have an incident for James A. Pinsker.
A trip. Oh. Great save. We need to be careful though, because Antonio Poveda is right there trying to make up another spot to get back into the top 5. So, lap 18 of 24. Rob Crouch, 7th place, still leading this train of 4 cars with DeCarmo 1 second behind, trying to keep up. Great battle between Rob Crouch and Rob Boer so far. All race long, trying to switch positions, passing each other. I haven't seen so far drivers really struggling significantly on tires. We might have some driver struggling during the last few laps. And remember guys, if you want to join these races, as we have issues for Antonio Poveda, he was really slow. a mistake from the Spanish driver, now losing 6th place on Rob Crouch. Rob Boyer looking to get past the French driver, but he has the inside. He might even actually maintain 6th place. Side by side with Rob Crouch, and Poveda maintains 6th place. Good defensive move by the Spanish driver. A single mistake and you find yourself fighting from... Oh, contact between Rob Boyer and Garcia. Garcia is now reversing back onto the track. He is the one coming out the worst of it. Back on the track right now, let's catch the replay. He might have been a bit too deep into the hairpin and collected Rob, who went just off track. Oh, Rob moves slightly on the right and collects Jorge Garcia. Unfortunate incident for them. But back in 11th place, Garcia in 12th, but they lost a lot of time. And someone who definitely says thank you for that is Campos, now in the top 10 after that mistake in the opening
lap. We might
lap.
have lost Austin, Alessandro. I'm waiting for confirmation. I see him popping in and out of the chat, but the report from Texas is no power, no power. So, yeah, unless Austin comes back to life like a phoenix rising from the ashes, I'll keep you company for the rest of the broadcast, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. All Italian broadcast on an Italian track. What could go wrong?
A lot.
Yeah, indeed. But remember, people, if you want to join us for these races, apart from getting a nice rating, remember you can also get to use our academy setups from Apex Racing Academy with a lot of data packs from any car, GT cars, formulas, 29 data pack setup, track guides, weekly group coaching sessions. Make sure to check it out as our other sponsor, Virtual Racing School, which is integrated with our own academy. So plenty of options to get better in a racing. If you need to know something, get better. You have plenty of pro racers, sim racers also, mostly, where you can get a lot of tips to be faster and mostly consistent in what you do.
Absolutely.
As we are looking at, we definitely use that to for our own good, Marco, with many cars and many setups, and we can confirm that they are top-notch quality.
We can confirm Austin has thrown in the towel, unfortunately, and he says hello to everyone. So yeah, you are stuck with us for the final, few laps of the race. So, Alessandro, Ben Fuller seems to be in complete control of the situation right now, with absolutely no trouble whatsoever all race long. As you can see here, he's been gaining constantly over his opposition. Robert Tarton now is safely in second place, and he has been losing a bit of time to Lang, but not going to be enough with only a handful of laps left. Lanka is pulling away from Olson, who in turn is losing a bit to Pinsker, but Pinsker is 5 seconds away, so no risk of losing the position. Closest battle on the field right now, Daniel Campos and In Oh John is trying to make the move on the Korean driver. Daniel Campos, of course, involved in that mess at the start, and has been goes to show how balanced this field is, Alessandro, because he's super quick, Daniel Campos is, but not able to, barely crack into the top 10, and now up to 9th place in front of the Korean driver. So up to 9th as De La Fuente has a spin, just in front of another driver. Who unfortunately, Paul Ilvrik seems to be in a tough spell as of late, and you know, lately he has been either a podium finish or incident for him. Today is at least the second.
Yeah, unfortunately for Paul, this season hasn't been what he expected. But I think he will try to bounce back for the last two races of the season. Hopefully we'll get some very good results because he deserves that 100%. Look at that great pass around the outside, but too much master for Paul. Goes on the grass and then on to the gravel. And loses also position to Patrick Letouvet. Very, very bad day for him, unfortunately. Paul will be very, very infuriated after that. Will be not very happy. But
yeah,
in the meantime,
yeah, not Paul Ilbrigt's day, unfortunately, today. As we are heading into another lap. It is Ben Fuller. 1 lap and a half left for Ben to bring the car home. And I think getting closer and closer to a well-deserved victory.
absolutely. Hopefully he's not from Texas, so you will not get any unpleasant surprise in this lap that is separating him from the victory. With a great drive. Not that anyone could even think about getting P1 today after that issue in the opening lap. He already had more than 2 seconds on the following cars, and that gap opened up for the whole race. White flag is in the air for our race leader Ben Fuller. 7 seconds on Robert Harton. Marco, you didn't really have a lot of overtakes in this racetrack because it's not one particular track where you can afford to do it, as Harton goes for some rallycross. Thankfully his gap to Langa is big enough to allow him to rejoin carefully without risking much. But from also Tartan, we must say a very good race.
Absolutely, no, I mean, you were right, and you and Austin said this at the beginning, a race of attrition, and a race of attrition it was. Not a lot of passes, but a lot of mistakes. This is a track that even in this, format, in this configuration, recently still very much unforgiving. Where is Fuller? There he is, taking the final corner of his race, Alessandro, and getting ready to take that sweet checkered flag.
Absolutely, we'll be absolutely delighted to be our winner for tonight broadcast race here in the official Formula Renault 3.5 Championship. Ben Fuller wins here at Imola. Textbook drive, as we have issues for Rob Crouch. Always this corner, this treacherous chicane, even on the last lap. We have drivers having issues, Crouch dropping a few positions as Langa crosses the start-finish line in 3rd place. Also, JJ Pinsker in 5th with solid points after Samborski got out of this event in lap 1.
So Crouch lost a spot to Do Carmo and to Campos. Let's see it again. Last time around, going over the Variante Alta.
Looks like he lost the car on the exit here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Too much power. Too much mustard for Rob Crouch. Giving up some valuable spots at the last lap. And look at Campos. I told you he was definitely looking for a top 10 halfway through the race, and he got 8th place with some damage on the front wing because his right side of the wing was not okay at all. As Paul Hilbrink tries to make up a spot on the last straight, but the race to the line is too short, and Paul will keep P20 as decides to end the evening by killing himself on the outside barrier. Definitely a sign that he is not happy.
No, absolutely not happy, Alessandro. Guy who's very happy here is Ben Fuller, is enjoying the parade lap, the victory lap. And we are ready to go through your unofficial... Well, no, it's iRacing, so official series. So it's the official results for tonight's event. Here we go.
Ben Fuller is our race winner. Great comeback from Ben after missing a few rounds. Robert Tarton in second place, Jose Langa in third, Greg also fourth, James J. Pinsker in fifth, Antonio Ortiz Poveda, Fabio Do Carmo, Daniel Campos, Rob Crouch and Indio John in 10th place, followed by Jorge Garcia, Rob Boer, Joaquim Hernandez Hill, Adam Conte, Dylan Frackleton, Jamie Byrne in 16th, Jeans Ruiz Nunez, Juanro de la Fuente, Patrick Letouet, Paul Hilbrink in 20th, and multiple laps down, not finishing today's event, Daniel Berrero, Evandro Marquez and Edward Samborski. 23 car field, out of 23, 20 cars made it their way to the checker flag, but many more had issues during the race.
Yeah, Alessandro, absolutely. And the amount of big names that have, have been... we can find at the bottom of the table is absolutely incredible. So, time for interviews. We don't have a race winner, but I think, Alessandro, you are standing by with our second place finisher, Robert Tarton. He's all yours.
Yeah, Rob, nice to have you back in the booth here on Apex Racing TV. Second place today after starting from P7, so you must be definitely very happy. Robert, are you with us?
He's a bit shy, racing in Imola with the Ferrari livery, probably getting on the podium, so the Tifosi have made their way onto the track and they are, blocking him from getting into the commentary box.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, now we can. So, Robert, you had a very good race today, starting all the way in P7, second place in the end. You must be definitely happy, especially with that livery. Racing at Imola in a Ferrari livery is always special.
Yeah, it's definitely nice getting on the podium, especially starting from 7th. Definitely unfortunate for the guys up front. I think they had contact and went off, so I definitely benefited from that. But just a little disappointed that I didn't have pace to match Ben. He was flying. At first I thought I lost some time behind Greg and I was 5 seconds back, and I was like, okay, first is out of the question, but maybe I can close the gap. But he just kept opening the gap, so congrats to him. That was pretty dominant. He definitely had some serious pace today.
Were you expecting also a race of attrition today, or did you think that we could have less accidents or driver mistakes mostly, I must say, during this race?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know what to expect. I feel like the field here is just so good that somebody, somebody's going to have a great race. So you just kind of have to push 100% and not worry about, potentially making a mistake, because, if you take it cautious, somebody else is going to get it. And, definitely was the case today, because I think apart from the two guys up front, I don't think many of the front runners dropped out.
Yeah, we had a lot of trouble in the midfield, but up front the race was absolutely amazing. Next week we stay in Italy, we go to Monza, completely different track. Are you looking forward to it or not? Because Monza, for many drivers, is a love or hate relationship.
Yeah, Monza is always fun. It's definitely not my favorite track from a technical perspective, but I feel like the racing is always really interesting because it's the medium downforce and strategy plays a big part in it. And then also I always enjoy driving the car with medium downforce just because the cars feel a little bit more powerful and the braking zone's a little bit longer. So yeah, overall I'm looking forward to it.
Anybody you would like to thank, Robert, before we let you go?
I'd say you guys for the great podcast as usual, and I guess everybody else in the midfield at the beginning for not crashing into me. But yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Robert, for coming by, and I hope to see you also next week in Monza.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, that was Robert Tarton, second place finisher for today's race. Now we have also Ben Fuller as for an interview. Ben, how are you doing? What a great drive today. You come here and you conquer the field.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty happy with the drive. Not very happy with qualifying. I've not been qualifying very well around this track this week. I felt like I had pretty good pace, but I don't know, maybe setup or just can't really find the limit in qualifying with the low fuel. But I knew I had a chance for the win. I've been racing Edward a few times this week and felt like I had good pace over him. So it's just a matter of seeing what P2 was like, seeing what P1 was like, and kind of settle into a groove. But there wasn't much groove to settle into in turn 1. I'm already in the lead, so I was pretty happy with that. I felt like the pace was good. I was pushing hard. Quite happy with the SOF today. I mean, the SOFs all week have been pretty lackluster, so to have all these top guys out, very, very exciting, and happy to get that win in front of them.
Absolutely. We know that you are looking forward to the new World Championship with the IR1, so these big SOFs races will definitely help you in your aim to get a higher I rating for sure. Are you also gonna race next week at Monza, or is it a track you don't really get on well with?
Yeah, definitely gonna go for Monza. I enjoy Monza. It's gonna be probably a draft fest, but we'll see. Those could be fun. Definitely going for the World Championship though. You know, I've got big plans this year, and this is just another step in achieving those goals. So the high SOFs are good for I rating gain when I, perform well, and they're also great to, really test yourself against those top guys that may or may not be racing in the World Championship later on.
Absolutely. Here in the Formula 3.5 we always have great battles with some great drivers. Before we let you go, Ben, anyone you would like to thank?
Yeah, so I'd love to thank Michael Overbay this week. The setup was pretty decent. Definitely had to make some driving adjustments, but I felt like it was a little bit quicker than the setup shops this week, so I'm very happy with the work that he's putting in to try and help me get all the podium and win finishes I can. So big thanks to Michael from TQE.
Well, thank you very much, Ben, for joining us today. We're really, really happy to have you seen back here in the Formula Renault 3.5 broadcast race. And we're really looking forward to see you also next week in Monza.
Thank you, guys.
Well, I think we have time for a quick interview rounding up today's field with James J. Pinsker. James, how are you doing today?
I don't know. Doing alright, I guess. I guess after a race like that, I can say that I'm doing alright.
Qualifying was not really the best effort. We saw you having trouble in the second lap, I think. But then the race was, let's say, difficult to make a pass work.
Yes, I'd say, well, I wouldn't say, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that overtaking was the problem. I think the pace, just with too little practice. I think everyone messed up their qualifying a lot because, say, from my qualifying, I was 3/10 off pole, and I probably had 3/10 in that lap. So I thought I'm in the race. I thought I could fight with those guys at the front on the raw pace. I thought I had it, but as it turns out, as we come into the race through the mid phase, there's Ben at the front pulling 5/6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths sometimes on laps, and it's just ridiculous that the pace that he had. As time went, I didn't practice too much, so I was kind of figuring it out as I went along. By the last few laps, I got a bit of a better pace, but I was still probably 3 or 4 tenths away from Ben today. He did a very good race at the front. Otherwise, for me, it was just from 6th place, stayed around there for most of the race, just a bit scrappy here and there. Had one half spin where it was very scary on lap 17. But otherwise, yeah, it was a bit bland really, but I held it together.
But still, for the championship table, this race is very good, considering that had issues in lap 1, so must be definitely very good.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true, and that was the crucial thing. Otherwise, maybe I would have turned off in this race. I wouldn't really have cared because I didn't have the pace, didn't really practice. So it would have been the kind of race where I might have switched off and stopped really caring if I crashed. You know, maybe go full push, maybe try and get on the podium with some really hard sweating, but obviously risking a crash when I knew going into this race that the championship was tight, and I saw Ed Samborski pulled out the pole lap. Which was very good, very solid, and very crucial in the context of the championship. But then, yeah, he blew it in the wall on the start, which was very good. And I knew at that point, for me, it was just about trying to consolidate a decent amount of points. I think I threw away a 4th place today. I think I was slightly quicker than Greg, and that mistake, which cost me about 5 seconds, would have been the difference between P4 and P5. But the points I'll get for P5, I don't know, maybe about 200, maybe slightly more, will be quite important for the championship, I think. And
absolutely,
yeah, me and Ed were very close going into this round. Paul should be up with us. He's done every week, and he's been quick every week. He's also crashed every single week, I think. It's been a really, really unlucky season for him, so I sympathise. But yeah, very important round that I finished this time.
Anybody you would like to thank, James, before we let you go?
Yeah, did I thank Apex Racing TV, I suppose? Did I battle anyone? Not sure I really battled anyone, to be honest, that I'd thank. Normally I thank people if they battle me cleanly.
You have been definitely battling, I think, with Langa for a long time, but then he pulled away.
I'd thank him for the slipstream he gave me, but then every single, he told me after, we had a conversation just after the race, he said that he really didn't like this track, he was making mistakes all the time. He had a very good raw pace, as Jose always does. He had a very good raw pace, but was making mistakes right in front of me, which was kind of costing us both time. Maybe getting a couple of slowdowns in front of me, and then it was a bit frustrating. But he was very quick, and I just had to use a slipstream at the end of the day because in the first half of the race I didn't have the pace to stick with those guys. So yeah, I'll thank Jose for the kind offering of a slipstream, and Apex Racing TV, of course, and congratulate Ben on a 10-second win and a really good pace. I don't know how often we see 10-second plus race wins in the broadcast 3.5 race. But yeah, his pace was very impressive, so GG to him, and see you next week.
Absolutely, thank you very much, James. Looking forward to see you next week at Monza, and we can call it a night. Thank you very much for watching this great, beautiful race from Imola, from Marco Barbanera, our lost friend Austin, from Alessandro Dalle Donne. That we thank you very much, and have a good night.